not really had the back end engaged, strengthened, that muscles built, that kind of thing, as they tend to be very heavily one-leaded, not very balanced, left lead, right lead, and can be hard to get any lead. A lot of times the horse will just keep scrambling forward faster to trot, faster and faster trot, and never really transition into the lope because the back end is just so weak, it can't push and keep up with the front end pulling. This horse, she will transition to a lope pretty good, but she favors one lead over the other. I think it's the left lead that she favors, if I remember right. And I have to work a little bit to get the right lead. We're going to talk about what I'm going to do to get that lead that she's a little bit harder, and kind of the process I'm going through with her. There's different ways that I'll do it with different horses because different things help different horses, depending on how they're using their body and just the horse in general. So I've been trotting her around a little bit, point her nose over here. Every time I point her nose, I'm going to make contact with one leg or the other. Sometimes it's the same side as my hand, sometimes it's the opposite side of my hand, depending on what I'm wanting her to do. If I point her nose and there's resistance on the side that I'm pulling, I'll touch with the spur on the same side. And it's not hard, it's not a kick, it's just kind of a touch and push. If she's not steering around, not going that way, and I need the shoulders to go that way, I'll push with the opposite side. I'm always wanting to steer the shoulders. The head, I don't really care about the head as far as steering. All my steering comes from the shoulders. Now let's ask for a faster trot. What I want to do here is exercise that muscles in the back end, really get them pushing. Now I'll start making a little bit of contact with her mouth. Oh, we're not going to lope. I'll make a little bit of contact with her mouth because I don't want to lope. But what I do want to do is kind of touch with my spurs to really encourage that back end to push. Really push with the back end. Really get that push. You saw a minute ago, she tried to lope off in the left lead. That's the lead she wants. We're actually going to lope a little bit in the left lead first, and then we'll lope the harder, work the harder lead. I like to do it that way because I like to get their preferred lead a little bit tired to kind of help make it a little bit easier. Let's get back to a little bit faster trot. Kind of set my hands, we're not going to lope. Set my hands, really drive her forward, drive her forward. I'd like for her to break at the pole and bring her chin in. If she does, great. If she don't, I'm not going to fuss about that. That's not my purpose of this exercise. That's not what I need. I need to push the hips. I need the hips working, but not lope. Now let's do a slow trot for a couple of circles. Let her relax. Kind of like exercising at the gym, doing a few reps and then taking a break. So this is kind of letting her muscles relax a little bit. You notice when I kind of turn her loose and just ride, how low she wants her head to be. I haven't done anything to ask her to put it there. That's just where she's wanting to put it. I really would rather it not be so low. But if I have a horse that I'm trying to force the head down, that's going to cause problems with how they use their body. And in the same concept, if I try to force her head up, that's going to cause problems in how they use their body. So many people have preconceptions about where a horse's head should be. The horse's head should be where the conformation of the horse tells us it should be. Just because the person's not used to seeing a horse with their head down this way doesn't mean that's not natural for the horse. When you're dealing with certain performance events like cow horses, you want their head down. That's where they can see the cow. If I have a horse that's head stuck up in the air up here, he can't see the cow. So certain events would prefer the horse's head to be in certain places, but you can't force it to be there. The horse's conformation has to determine that it's there. All right, let's go back to a faster trot. I'm gonna take a hold of her face a little bit so she don't lope. And let's drive her out a little bit faster. I get a lot of questions about why don't I post? Well, this is why I don't post. If you're posting, you're not driving that horse's back, his hips, back in up underneath him like you should be. An older, finished horse that has a little bit more self-roundness, a little more muscle tone, you can get that done with a post. These younger horses, you're not going to get that done posting. If you're posting, you're not driving the hips under and rounding the horse like you need to be on a young horse. It's kind of pushing on my hands a little bit, set my hands off with my spurs, kind of fussing with the bit, just because what I'm asking her to do is hard. It's just a plain, smooth ring snaffle, D-ring snaffle I have on. Nothing special about it. All right, let's go ahead and ask for a lope. Let's see what we get. Now what I'm gonna do, I will make contact with her mouth some. You see the head coming up and down? When the head's coming up and down, that means she's not pushing with the back end. It means her back is inverted and she has to bring her head up to get the shoulders up to bring her front feet forward. So what I'm gonna do, take a hold of her face a little bit, bump with my spurs just like I was doing in the trot, make that back end push. Push, use your back end. Use your back end. There we go. As I squeeze, I can feel her back lift and round, almost like a horse rounds when they're gonna buck. And see how she's wanting to break? That's all going back to not having enough muscle for the push. She gets kind of strung out, and the back end isn't keeping up with the front end. You think of a horse as one unit, but really what you're dealing with is about 3 different units. You have the head and neck, you have the shoulders and ribs, and you have the hips. All 3 units have to work together. At the front end, it sounds really weird. If the front end is traveling faster than the back end, coordination's gonna be off. Not gonna be able to lope. It's gonna fall down to a trot. And that's what happens when a horse is weak in the back end. Back end can't keep up. This is getting better. I'm using a lot of leg, a lot of spur. And if you want to get this done right, ride with spurs. If you're not going to get this done right, riding with bare heel. I don't care what excuses you make, and a crop is not the answer. A crop is not a substitute for spurs. It's 2 different tools with 2 different purposes. There we go. Getting a little better. I'm getting a little better arc in her body in this curve. A little softer on my hands. Getting softer on my hands because she's pushing better with her back end. I think she's getting a little tired. Let's get back to the lope a circle, and then I'll let her come back down. Good girl. The horse has actually a really nice stop. If she was here in reining training, she'd be ready for slide plates. But she don't have slide plates, and I don't want to stop her hard like that and end up getting sore in the hocks or the stifles. But as it is now, without slide plates, she'll slide 3 feet on her back end on bare feet. So walking this way a little bit, let her catch her breath. And then we're going to lope off in the right lead, which is the harder lead for her. It's probably going to take a couple of tries to get it. What I need to do to get this correct lead is I need to open up this shoulder so it can reach, and I need to drive on this hip so it can reach. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that in just a minute. Let her kind of catch her breath just a little bit. She's not really out of breath, but she just don't have enough muscle in the back. We're still building muscle, just like when you go to the gym and work out. Now, it's very, very common when I'm working these young horses like this for them to get a little bit muscle sore. You have to be aware of that, watch for it, do your best to not let it happen or get too bad, but they do get muscle sore. You're building muscle with them just like a person. It's exactly the same. I see in a lot of situations where a trainer is overworking the horse, doing what should be done, but just kind of overdoing it. The horse gets muscle sore, and then the owner is upset because they have a sore horse. And then it's the trainer's fault. They shouldn't be doing it. They should have a better understanding of balancing all of that out. But on the other hand, the owners needs to recognize that the horse gets muscle sores because they were working their muscles. They're going to get muscle sore. It's going to happen. You just try to not let it get bad. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up a trot, and we're actually going to transition from the trot into the lope because I want to get her back in driving under like I was doing earlier. Take a hold of her face. Get the back end driving. Now, like I said before, two things need to happen. I need to open up this shoulder. I need to push with this hip. So what I'm going to do to open up the shoulder, do something different than what a lot of people teach. I'm actually going to bring her nose out and left. Going to close this shoulder and open that shoulder. And then I'm going to use inside leg right in the middle to pick this up to engage the back. Way, way different than what you want of a finished horse. But at this point, this is what's going to get this horse into a position to pick up the right lead. It's probably going to take a couple tries. Let's see what we can get. Nope. Nope. See how she has her nose up and out? She's trying to open up this left shoulder so she can get that foot up. A little bit of left rein, left leg. Let's push that shoulder over. Push the shoulder to the right. Push the shoulder to the right. Get this right shoulder opened up a little more. Nope. Nope, we're going this way. 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 This way. There you go. Add a little bit more inside leg. Back end driving a little more. There, see, I got the shoulder coming around a little bit better. Not gonna have none of that. Get her thinking right. Thinking right. It's also gonna get her pushing. See how I'm asking her to leave that? And she's not pushing out of it. Gonna get some push. Oh, see there, she thought about it. I had her set up for it and I asked it, she didn't give it to me. Do it again. Need more push in the back end. More push in the back end. I'm getting the shoulder better. Need more push. Nope. There we go. Yeah, I had some push that time. Now I got her in that lead. We'll lope a little bit. Get her a little more used to it. She's a little unsteady because she's not used to this lead yet. A little weaker in this lead. Use my legs. Push her up on the bit. Take a hold of her face. Try to lift that right shoulder a little bit so that I can get that right shoulder a little freer. Yeah, she wants to kind of, looks like she wants to put a lot of weight on that right front shoulder. Gotta lift it up. Lift it up. And in the process, using my spurs to drive the hip. I also have a lot of weight in my left stirrup. A lot of weight, like 90% of my body weight pushing on the left stirrup. That's on purpose to try to help balance her because she doesn't have the strength here that she needs. If I get centered, she's just going to fall that way because she don't really have the strength to support herself yet. We're going to get it there. Let her come down, walk a little bit. There we go. Good girl. Let her walk a little bit and I'll do it again. This horse is going to end up building muscle back here and being a balanced horse. This is a lot of the common issue I see a lot. I see this problem a lot when people are working the horse's face for collection, not picking the body up. Very common. They want to see that nose come in because that's the picture they want, but they're not getting the body round. Very, very common. So let's ask her one more time. I'll try to ask her like I did the first time without rolling back on the wall. See what I get. If I get it, great. If not, we'll go back to rolling back on the wall so that we can get a bigger push. Nope. She was in the right position, didn't lope when I cued her to lope. Let's go to the wall. Nope. Did it again there. Got to lope when I say go. I get her in the position. Get her in the position that I want her and cue, and she just swaps legs to push off. Got to push off on that leg. So if you don't know what leads are, we are in the right lead. Means the right foot is hitting the ground in front of the left foot. Anytime you're going right circles, your horse should be in the right lead. Anytime you're going left circles, your horse should be in the left lead. That is where the horse is naturally balanced to use her feet for going in that direction. So this is Kate. I'll put a link up here to the other videos that I've done with her. I'll keep working her on this and show you an update soon. Until next time, thank you for watching.